every summer we do the Beach Patrol report throughout the summer, and we report on the races. But in the beginning, before the races start, we try to talk to as many captains, chiefs, lieutenants throughout the beach, South Jersey, to get a sense of what's up and coming in their respective towns. So we started last week with Chief Kip Ebick in Brigantine. Now we're going further south. We're going to get down to Ventnor City, and let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome into the locker room Captain of the Ventnor City Beach Patrol, David Funk. Good morning, David Funk.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Dave, I know when I hear your voice, it's summertime, baby.
Yeah, it's a great time of the year. Good time to be in South Jersey.
Listen, I got to tell you, we're so excited. We're going to be able to do the Margates and the South Jersey Lifeguard Championships. We'll be able to broadcast them live. I'm amazed at the competitiveness, just the overall the racing, the excitement that it generates. And you guys all work really hard at your craft, but it's something when you can win and represent your city to win a race. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all the guards who train all the season long, stay in shape to compete, first compete in their own towns, and then try to compete out of town against other patrols. It's twofold. You know, the guards are staying in shape first and foremost to protect the bathing public that they're getting paid to do, and having the opportunity to compete. We have a lot of athletes from many different sports who are lifeguards, and a lot of the races in the summer give that opportunity, whether it's running, swimming, paddling, rowing. So it's great. It's a great display of athletic ability among all the beach patrols all summer long.
We're talking with Captain of the Ventnor City Beach Patrol, David Funk. And Dave, talk to us a little bit about what's going on down there in Ventnor right now. You get your rookie test right now?
Yeah, so today we're having our test. We had a large number of applicants, so we've actually stretched it out to 2 days for the test, today and tomorrow. And yeah, we've got a lot of good applicants. Looks like there's a good athletic group of kids taking the test. So it's looking pretty good.
Hey, Dave, it's Michael. I got a quick question for you. This is like my first year getting to know all about the lifeguard races and stuff like that, but I just want to give you a little kudos that in every sport, there's names that people know about whether you watch the sport or not. You just know. You hear them about it all the time. And when Billy was telling me that you were going to be on, David, I said, "Oh, I know that." I said, "He's got a brother or a couple brothers." I think a guy, Andrew. I said, "He's a name that I attracted to right away."
As a casual observer of the
it's just a casual guy, and that's a compliment to you because, like any sport, you got to put the time in and to work to get to that level. So first, I just want to say you're doing all the right things. The second thing is, what would you be known for the person that doesn't know all the different towns, Ocean City, Vent? Are certain guys known for their strength? Like, are you guys swimmers, rowers, a little bit of both? That's my one question. And the other question is, when you're having these tryouts, let's just say you got a stud that's on a boat for the last 3-4 years, but someone comes out of nowhere. Do we bounce that guy off, or are you one that believes like the veteranship, like he's been here long enough, done it, I want to keep going with him?
Great questions. First, I mean, as far as the testing goes, we test all the kids. As far as what you're known for, I mean, each beach patrol, over the course of the years of competing, might be known to have like deep in rowing or deep with good swimmers. But, I was never a top-tiered swimmer. I developed into being a decent rower and representing the beach patrol. And I think all the guards that represent their individual towns out of town in those big races, they've put in the work, they put in the effort, and they've earned the right to compete. And when somebody new comes along, or I say new but younger, if they develop, the skill and compete and put in the hard work, it's going to pay off. I mean, I didn't just show up to the beach one day and all of a sudden started representing the town. I had to put in years of work of getting beat, actually questioning whether I even wanted to do it or not, and just kept grinding away at it. And then, if you're around long enough and you stick with it long enough, you can get a lot on your belt and just some longevity. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to still compete. I still enjoy it, though not as aggressively as I have in the past, because life takes over.
Yeah.
My family, my kids are number one, and nothing will come in between that. And, but it's nice to still have the opportunity to compete. And I think watching other guards come up and compete, I've competed in a lot of races.
And won a lot of races.
yeah. When I was younger, I was a coach of high school rowing, and I said one day I'll be cool to see some of you guys at the starting line, and I'm well past that now. And it's really cool to still compete, and put yourself at that level. There's a lot of great athletes out there, man. I'm really impressed with what I've seen in some of the younger guards. A lot of raw strength and talent, and a lot of people's names who you remember from the past.
We're talking with captain of the Ventnor City Beach Patrol, David Funk. I know you're running the test, so we'll let you go, Dave. But real quick, hey man, the racing season's it's upon us, man. July 7th will be your first test at the Captain Michael McGrath Memorials in Longport. That'll knock the rust off.
Yeah, it's funny you say. I mean, July 7th, it's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
It seems like once July 4th weekend hits, it's like the light switch goes, and it's a fast 5 weeks or 6 weeks of summer once the races start. But it's exciting. It's a good build-up. There's a lot of competition leading up to the last two races, or last three races if you count the Goudies to the season. So I'm sure all the guards are training hard and working hard, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, Dave, listen, I want to thank you so much. Mike, Dave Funk has been great. Like when he wins a race and I go up there to, he's spent. Yeah, he's breathing heavy. He just gets out of the water. I go, yo, Dave, give me a second. And you're generous and gracious with me, Dave. Give me access to you guys when you get out of the water. I really appreciate it. Look forward to covering all the races this year.
Well, you guys have helped bring that lifeguard racing. You help get it west of the Parkway, I guess you could say. So it's awesome. The turnouts are great, and it's awesome. It's good stuff.
All right, David Funk. We'll see you. We'll see you this summer, baby.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, there he is, David Funk on the Maserati of the Mainline Sports Hotline. Let's go right back to the hotline and talk with former lieutenant of the Ocean City Beach Patrol, our correspondent, Lieutenant John McShane. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Bill. How you doing?
John, I guess you're down there at the Ocean City lifeguard test. They're having their test today. How many guards is Ocean City taking this year?
Not sure about that. I had a few words with Operations Chief Becker prior to the test. He was pretty busy, but they're still waiting, I think, to hear from some people on whether they're returning or not. They had about 38 to 40 candidates try out. And as Dave Funk was alluding to earlier, it is quite a challenge. If you're taking the test today somewhere in South Jersey, you really want this job bad because the conditions along the coast are absolutely unbelievable.
Really?
The wind's blowing about 25 out of the northeast, straight down the beach. It is pure chop the whole way out. I mean, it's as rough as an ocean as you're going to find.
Wow.
But the Ocean City, Chief Becker mentioned that they're doing a couple of events today. They did the swim, they did the 2 mile run. 1 mile run, and they're going to do the paddleboard, surf dash rescue, and also an erg test. So there's 5 events that they're going to go through today.
And it's a pretty rigorous test for these applicants trying to make the beach patrol. John, I'm just wondering, and I want to get your take on this. We talk about it every year. A lot of the beach patrols you're starting to see more paddle boards than boats on the beach. But I think Ocean City's probably going to try to change that, get back to the boat. Is that correct?
Yeah, they are. They have a program set up that if the lifeguard is interested, returning or a new guard, they go through a dry land course on boat handling, and then they put them in the water, and then they're going to keep a number of boats on the beach. A number of alumni, and I can say myself included, have offered our boats, our expertise to Chief Becker and these young men and women, if they want some extra time, we're going to be willing to pitch in and help them to develop some of their skills. Because you had mentioned the races, and they're coming up. That's right, July 7th. We have the Longports, and we also have the Cape May County races.
John, we call that the AFC NFC because
NFC, right.
The Longport Memorials are pretty much for Atlantic County, right? And Cape May County has theirs. So every team in Cape May County, it's on the same night. So I can't be both places. I usually cover the Longports and send either Jack Brooks or John McShane down to the Cape Mays, and so we'll report on that. But like Dave Funk said, once it's a 6-week schedule, it's every Friday, man. It's great.
Bill, I'm looking at the first week alone. So you have 2 races on the 7th. You have the Women's Longport Invitational on July 11th. You have the Brigantine races on July 13th. Besh and Callahan's on Friday the 14th. So it just really gets going quick. You have the women's race in Ocean City on the 19th, and the Cape May Point Women's Challenge on the 26th. Now, these are all races. They're not attended by every patrol, but there's a lot of different patrols. For instance, like Brigantine has always invited guys from up north, the Harvey Cedars and Ship Bottoms and Lavalettes of the world come down for that. And there's a lot of events in those races that we're not going to see later in the summer. As you mentioned, we get into the big 3,
right?
The Hoffmans, the Margates, and the Jerseys. They go back to sort of the basics of rowing and swimming, although the Hoffmans have a couple different events. But like the Cape May County races, you have a running race, you have a box swim, you have some paddleboard events. And the women's event in Cape May Point, that also includes a paddleboard, some running, and some swimming as well. You have things like paddleboard relays, surf dash relays. Dave was alluding to the athletic ability of the men and women who try out for these jobs. This is a great opportunity in these early races for them to demonstrate those skills, because it is more than just swimming and rowing. You have to be able to run. You have to be able to handle a paddleboard. Bill, I maybe see this someday when we have jet ski races or the wave runner races, the rescues. That day may be coming. But by the 18th or the 28th of July, and I don't even want to talk about the end of July because summer's shot.
Yeah.
That's when things sort of settle down, and there's basically a race every Friday night. And as you mentioned, we'll be broadcasting the Margates and the Jerseys live on the radio. So one last point before I go. I know you guys are probably pressed for time.
Yes.
Dave mentioned that it takes maybe a few years to get into the swing of things to where you can be very competitive out of town. And I always remember our guy here, Ron Kirk, who was a tremendous out-of-town rower. It took Ron a couple of years to even get through the Ocean City heats and challenges before he got to race out of town. And then once he did, he was probably every bit as good as anybody else in the South Jersey region in rowing, doubles and singles.
Well, I got to tell you, experience, I don't care what sport it is, Mike Carlin, whether it's the NBA, NHL, college, NFL football, experience is so
Veterans
important.
And experience.
Right?
Yep.
All right, John. All right, John McShane, we're going to let you roll. We really appreciate you taking time for us today, and we'll talk to you next week.
You got it. Take care.
There he is, former lieutenant of the Ocean City Beach Patrol and current member of the Ocean City Lifeguard Alumni Association, John McShane, on the Maserati Mainline Sports Hotline.